can you solve this inequality both algebraically and graphically? First, we're going to do this algebraically. And to do this algebraically, I have to find the zeros of the equation. And the zeros, we have x minus 1. We have to equate that to 0, so x will equal 1. And x plus 3. Also, if we equate that to 0, we're going to get x equals negative 3. And remember, negative 3 is a multiple of 2 because of the square on top. And I'll explain to you how it would look on the graph when you have a square. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to draw a number line. And on the number line, we're going to indicate our zeros, which is the negative 3 and 1. So now if you look at this line, it's divided to 3 different segments. It's between negative 3 to negative infinity, between negative 3 to 1, and between 1 to infinity. So between negative 3 and negative infinity, we could test negative 4 into the original equation there. But one thing when you're testing, you see that x plus 3 squared is going to be always positive. Even if you end up with a negative number inside, when you square it, it becomes positive. All you need to do is just test in the x minus 1. And if you get a negative number, then you know a negative number cannot be greater than 0. So you cannot shade in there. But if you end up with a positive number in the x minus 1 when you're testing that number, then yes, you have to shade because positive number is greater than or equal to 0. So you could just ignore the x plus 3 equals 0. As you see now, we're testing negative 4. So negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. That cannot be greater than 0. We don't shade there. Now, between negative 3 and 0, the best number to choose is the 0 because it's very easy to test the 0. So if you take the 0, you're going to get 0 minus 1, which is negative 1, and that's not greater than or equal to 0. How about if we test in the third segment there, we test, let's say, 2, and we only testing in the x minus 1. So if you go 2 minus 1, that will give you 1. Is that greater than or equal to 0? Yes. And therefore, we're going to shade in that last segment of the line between 1 and infinity. Therefore, our solution is going to be x is greater than or equal to 1. And now, let's explore solving this on a graph. So again, my zeros are 1 and negative 3. Now, it's very important to know how to graph polynomials. And now let me make this easy for you. First thing, we look at the leading coefficient. The leading coefficient of this polynomial is positive. There's a positive 1 in front of the brackets, which means at the 0 on the far right, which is at 1, you have to go up instead of going down. So because it's the leading coefficient is positive, you go to the 0 to the furthest right and go up. Now, from 1, you come down, and then you go to the other 0, which is negative 3. Now, the negative 3, as we said earlier, it's a multiplicity of 2. Multiplicity of 2, that means when you hit the 0, you don't go through it, you bounce right back, and you go down. Okay. Now, as you see, they say the inequality is greater than or equal to 0. That means you shade when the graph is above the x-axis. That's what it means. And the graph happens to be above the x-axis after the 1. And therefore, you shade from 1 all the way to infinity. And that means your solution is between 1 and infinity. And as you notice, the way you write this is square brackets, 1, comma, infinity, round brackets. Square brackets means the 1 is included as part of the solution. Now, I just noticed that we forgot about another part of the solution. You see, they say it's greater than or equal to 0. And as you see, at negative 3, we shaded. So negative 3, you know, with the circle, when we made it on the number line, we had to shade the circle because negative 3 is also part of the solution. Because if you make x negative 3, and you plug negative 3 into the equation on the left side, you'll get negative 3 minus 1, which is negative 4, and negative 3 plus 3 squared, which is 0. And when you multiply those, you get 0. So 0 equals 0, and that's definitely part of the solution. So that's what we'll do now. We write it as part of our solution. Remember, a squared factor never changes sign, and that's the key to solving this inequality correctly.